Addressing homelessness has been a focus for city officials recently. Just this week, a proposal was introduced to curb panhandling in the downtown area. But tonight, the focus is on talking to the people who are living on the streets and seeing what they need. Our TV6's Stephanie Wade is live downtown showing you this effort. Stephanie?
Erica, if you're driving around downtown tonight, you might see these people, you might see these outreach teams walking around, talking to people experiencing homelessness and seeing what they need. They're then sending them here to these tables behind me. They're helping them share resources and help apply for housing options. City leaders tell me there are just too many people living on the streets right now. On any given night, 1,300 people are homeless in the city of Indianapolis. Do you think that some people aren't aware of the services that the city does provide?
I think that's absolutely right, and that's probably something that we see on a daily basis.
So tonight, outreach teams are taking to the streets.
Do they have resources? Maybe they're on Social Security disability or have some other monetary income. What are the barriers that they're facing to get housing?
Were you aware of any services when you were going through that time?
No, especially not this one.
Victoria Thompson Hill was homeless at one point in her life. It took working with the Homeless Initiative program, one of the partners with this city initiative, to find housing and get a roof over her head.
They don't have phones and stuff where they can contact and find out if there's housing available. And so something just needs to be done about it.
Tonight, the city says they are doing something about it, whether it's giving people housing vouchers or connecting them with other resources. They say they are trying to tackle homelessness one person at a time. Reporting live downtown, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
The midterm elections are less than 6 weeks away. We'll head to the polls on November 6th. And tonight, we're getting to know a bit about the candidates running for the District 7 House seat and what they stand for. Our TV6's Mark Mullins is working for you and talking with both candidates in a district that is mostly urban, primarily Marion County, and not quite like other voter districts in the state. Mark.
Yeah, Erica, on the GOP side, a candidate who has, for the first time after several attempts, cleared the primary and advanced to the next level. A first-time nominee for the U.S. Congress with ideas on how to make changes for those who have served the country. And on the Democratic side, a man with a recognizable name in Indiana and in Washington, with a history of politics in his family and a congressional record already in place. But is it enough for voters this fall?
Wayne "Gunny" Harmon, a candidate with a nickname that points to his time in the military. Gunny served as a gunnery sergeant and communications chief in the Marines with tours of duty overseas. But his strong roots keep him grounded here in Indiana now, where on this day, he's helping those in need by donating blood.
I was born and raised here in Indianapolis.
A graduate of Howe High School on the city's east side, Gunny Harmon recalls his time on this campus playing ball before he was nominated to the U.S. Naval Academy his senior year.
So I went ahead and enlisted to serve the country, just like my father did during World War II as a Marine.
His time in the military, fighting alongside U.S. troops in Iraq, and then seeing their personal struggles here in the homeland, shapes his main focus and his platform for change.
The transition of troops coming out of the military, I want to make sure they have jobs that they can re-enter into. And then as a parole officer, what I'm doing right now, re-entry for people coming out of prison.
Harmon's platform not only aims to rework integration for veterans and released convicts, but also a controversial measure to help treat ailments.
With the troops, a lot of them are coming back with medical problems and PTSD. And so one thing we need to look at is medical marijuana for the troops and hopefully legalizing that for the nation.
Harmon is going after the seat Democrat Andre Carson has held for a decade.
I grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana, went to Manual, Arlington, and Tech. I graduated from Tech.
An aspiring artist who instead became a police officer. But even at a young age, he had the bug. His well-known grandmother, deeply vested in local and national politics herself, Julia Carson took her grandson to the Democratic National Convention. At the time, the Reverend Jesse Jackson was running for president.
So I tagged along with her, and even though he didn't get the nomination, I came back to Indianapolis registering voters, and I was 9 going on 10 that year. Phone banking, I wasn't even old enough to vote, but it put a seed in me
The seed bloomed. Andre Carson served on the Indianapolis City County Council and eventually took over his grandmother's vacated House seat when she passed away. He won the seat in 2008 and has held on to it ever since, defeating challengers every 2 years.
I don't do it for ego. I do it because I come from a tradition of public service.
Looking back, Carson is proud of 5 bills he pushed to become law.
And many of them deal with financial literacy for our veterans. They deal with addressing mental health issues, and they deal with economic development. So I'm proud to have been a part of those efforts.
But looking ahead, as a member of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, his platform focuses on improving the ways Hoosiers get around the state.
And we have a president who has a background in development. Working with him to invest in infrastructure in a way that would create jobs for the next decade or even 2 decades.
Now, both Carson and Harmon agree the political climate at this juncture is hostile and getting in the way of getting any real work done. And both tell me these midterm elections could clear away hurdles to make progress in Washington when it comes to the business of the people. Erica.
Mark, thank you. And a week from today on the news at 5 and 6, we'll put our focus on the 9th District congressional race. And I'm talking in depth with Republican incumbent Trey Hollingsworth and his Democratic challenger, Liz Watson. Today, Hollingsworth's campaign announced that he's picked up the endorsement of the Indiana Chamber of Commerce. The decision was made after a volunteer committee made up of members and chamber staff reviewed the records and public policy positions of both candidates. Bringing jobs to Central Indiana, the company that updated us on its plans for Hamilton County today and the jobs that need to be filled.
It's Media Day for IU men's basketball as they say hello to Romeo. I'm Brad Brown in Bloomington. We'll hear from the Hoosiers' newest freshman, plus head coach Archie Miller coming up on the news at 6.
And temperature's the big story tonight. We won't be in record territory, but it will get your attention. Where's your jacket and why you need to look up later tonight.
Closures. From the station working for you, this is RTV6 News at 6.
The new automotive company's headquarters in Carmel is set to open on time, and they're bringing dozens of new jobs to Indiana. Car Global Automotive is based in Carmel, and they expect to finish construction of their new headquarters in the summer of 2019. It's a 250,000 square foot office building. The company is making an $80 million investment here and creating jobs.
There's going to be about 1,400 new jobs created here. We currently have a number of job openings now that we're trying to fill. About 100 positions that are currently open in this building here. Most of those job openings right now are IT positions.
The new corporate offices will be located 2 miles south of Car's current headquarters on the northeast corner of Illinois and West 111th Streets.